Livy Dunn, All-American gymnast and Viore athlete. When you travel and train as much as I do, you find happiness where you are. On the mat or on the sand, movement and comfort are essential. That's why I live in Performance Joggers by Viore. Made from DreamNet fabric that's made of 89% recycled materials, effortlessly soft and made to move as much as I do. My happiness starts here, in the softest joggers on the planet. Get 20% off your first purchase at viore.com/Livy. That's VUORI.com/LIVVY. Exclusions apply. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to viore.com/Livy and discover the full versatility of Viore clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions.
Sunday morning. Well, a lot of New Yorkers love New York and are concerned about New York. With us today is the president of the Teamsters Union, Local 237, represents city employees and mostly, and his name is Gregory Floyd. And Gregory Floyd, there's one thing for sure we both agree on. We love New York and we want New York to succeed. Is that right?
That's correct. I'm a New Yorker. I've been a New Yorker all my life. I love New York. Love everything about New York.
What part of New York did you grow up in?
I was born in Brooklyn, lived there for 11 years of my first life, and then I grew up in Queens Village.
I grew up on 135th Street by City College.
Ah, yes.
So we love New York. We want New York to succeed. And I've talked to the mayor the last few days, and I've talked to a lot of people. And I said the two items that are non-negotiable is the quality of life in New York for all your members, all my friends, and that we all want them to walk around and feel safe. And the second thing is that we can't chase. 2% of the people pay 48% of the taxes, and if we chase away the middle class, I agree, maybe the rich are not going to leave, but the middle class, we don't want to scare them away, because then, you know who's going to pay the penalty? New York City and New York State have 500,000 public employees, and if we don't have the money, those people are going to suffer.
John, you're absolutely correct, because if we don't have the money, we lose jobs, we lose service, we lose people, and we lose our political clout. We lose congressional seats. A lot of people don't know this, but we lose congressional seats, we lose power in Washington, D.C., we lose money coming back to New York. So it's a ripple effect. And everybody always looks at the surface, but nobody understands how things work. And we've lost congressional seats over the years. Yes.
You know, the other thing is, and I've talked to many people. I've talked to Bonnie Brady in Long Island, who represents all the fisheries. And those stupid windmills they're putting up are going to double and triple the price of electricity. And it's the cost. We got to bring the cost down instead of raising the cost, because, by the way, the other thing I said on television last week, and I hope you agree with me, the essential services, our police department, our police officers, and our fire department, maybe we should give them affordable housing in New York City so they can afford to live in the 5 boroughs, not 60 miles away.
You know, that concept has been around for a long time, and we've always spoken about it, but no one has ever worked toward trying to make that happen. Not since the electricians built Electchester in Queens have we seen such a project. And at this point, yes, New York City has become extremely expensive, not just for the firemen and the police, but for all city workers. And I understand, here's the concept, and I've said this time and time again, every administration, but nobody takes me up on that offer. New York City, for whatever the reason, pays about $4,000, over $4,000 a month for homeless families. You have the New York City Housing Authority, and you have vacant apartments in the New York City Housing Authority. Instead of paying that kind of money, why don't we just rehab the apartments in NYCHA, put the homeless families there. This way, you could pay a minimum amount of rent, $500, $600, $700 to NYCHA, instead of paying $4,000 a month to landlords and hotel owners, and then have those families stabilized, and they probably could afford to pay that kind of rent there. And then we reduce the budget of homeless services, and then we could work on the people who are homeless living on the streets, and then we could start affording a lot more, and our money and our taxes will go a lot further, and then we could start projects like trying to lower the price so that the city employees, including fire and police and sanitation workers and my members in housing and school safety, can afford to live here.
We agree on more things than we disagree on. I agree with you. I agree that we got to come up with something that the people could afford to live here, especially our people with essential services. I believe we should have more affordable food stores, and I really believe it. Well, I look forward to have continuing discussions with you to make New York City more affordable and more common sense and more safe. And let's keep our discussions going.
Thank you, John, and thank you for having me on.